Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Britfeel Radio. It's been quite a while since our last episode, and as you can imagine, quite a lot has happened. Do let me know if how the audio is. I am using a new headset, so there may be issues. So I'll just ask. I'll just let our commentators know. Let me know if issues with the audio. Okay. We've got a jam-packed roast of topics for you today. So, well, first of all, let's just start off with one that came through via Super Chat. It's from regular listener Andrew. He says, how will UFOs affect transgender rights? Now, this is something the media has not touched on. For whatever reason, I can only assume it's transphobia. But the effect UFOs will have on transgender rights is massive because now people's attention is diverted towards the UFOs. Get into that into more details in just a moment. So you see, sorry, just a second, just bringing up my notes from the teleprompter. So as you can see right now, a lot of current military and civil service people are going on the news and saying that it's weird and that it's likely some obscure branch of the US government doing tests on new tech or foreign agents like China. But yeah, it's strange because these people should be talking about transgender rights rather than UFOs. It's really shifted the goalposts. Can I turn myself up? I think I believe the audio is as high as it can be. One problem is that I think the audio is being picked up via my laptop instead of my headphone microphones. I'm not sure why that is. These are some new headphones and they might not be properly configured. I will just try making one change on properties. I'll change that to default and we'll see what happens. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Regarding reading off a script, that's not true. That's complete fabrication, and I disavow it. So I'm just going to take a look at Britfeel and take a look and see what the top discussions are right now. So Britfeel, the people on Britfeel are currently discussing the grooming gangs. It's a popular topic among Britfeel. There's been a lot of debate around this topic for years, really. Some people say it's a both sides issue, but Britfeel generally sides with the adults in this scenario. So they feel like they were victimized by the media and the police. Let me just read out one of the most recent posts by Mohammed. So let me tell you what's really going on with this grooming shit. A lot of these girls are slags, simple as. There is no getting away from that. They are smoking cannabis, they have multiple sexual partners, they get heavily involved with substance abuse, which is usually given to them in exchange for sexual favours which they happily oblige in, by the way. It's only later when they break up or fall out, he goes to Pakistan, that she goes to social services and starts talking shit. The fact of the matter is that a lot of them are wayward girls who get involved with lads who are selling and dealing drugs, and it's only when circumstances change regarding the girl's supply of free drugs from her boyfriend that they go to social services. Yeah. That's a powerful post. So I won't personally weigh in on that, but I will say that is a very powerful post. and there's a lot in there that the media has overlooked. Regarding some of the comments and regarding my headphones, yeah, I'm not really sure what to do. My streaming software is just not detecting the headphones. I've just got two. It's not giving me that as one of the options. Yeah, so yeah, it just is what it is. I mean, if you can hear me, you can hear me, so I guess that's a good thing. Okay, so oh, someone's asking what the topic for the day is. Well, we've got loads of topics, hundreds even. So just gonna locate another post that someone has discussed on Britfeel. So now I feel sick after my overpriced takeaway. Dumb me. Well, my rule of thumb is that the correct price for a takeaway is around £4. Well, actually, it's £4 if you're getting a drink with it. For just like a doner kebab or sandwich or something like that, you should be paying £3. For a burger meal, so that's burger, chips, drink. That's £4. Anything above that, you're heading into luxury territory. So say a mini pizza, or no, actually not a mini pizza. A large pizza should be like £6. Other luxury takeaways would be say something like halal Chinese food, or yeah. So that's the point when so yeah, just factor that in when getting food. So regarding one of the next super chats, what do you estimate your IQ at? I would say it would be around 112. Yeah, not too high, not too low. So just taking a look at some more comments that we have here. So see. Well, Britfeel is in quite a dire state. The quality of posts is embarrassing, really. In the Victorian era, the poor lived in tiny, densely packed terrace houses near the city centre. The successful factory owners could have large houses in the countryside surrounding the city. Of course, back then people were aware of the status in society. Now Londoners living in tiny cramped accommodation think they've made it, and the people living in 5-bedroom houses in the countryside are the losers. Yeah, it's really fascinating how time changes perspectives. Yeah, really quite enlightening. And again, just to tackle another comment that's come in regarding my feminism and bullying white working class women, I'd say there is a hierarchy here, and when it comes to feminism, we need to prioritize the needs of women of color before white women. Because yeah, in some cases, white women could even be lumped in closer to men and as being part of the patriarchy. So it just, yeah, Britfield was actually moving quite slowly. Not many posts in the last 3 hours. So I'm just gonna read another post by the top topic in the thread right now. So me cousin Waleed, he was taken to the cleaners by a little slag. Basically, they were boyfriend and girlfriend. He was dealing a bit of weed, and he used to give her free 20 bags. But she was just burning through about 3 20 bags a day. So he said to her that he couldn't keep just giving her 20 bags anymore because she was just blazing through too many bags. So she fucked off. Said he had used weed to get favours from her, but it's bullshit. They were shagging for months. So how is that grooming? She only went to social services much later and basically ruined our Waleed's life. How is that fair? She is a fantasist and she has ruined our Waleed's life. She is given the benefit of the doubt despite being a known liar. Yeah, excellent post. So these days it does seem like the prosecution services and police are siding with the alleged victims, and innocent before proven guilty has gone right out of the window. Oh yeah, one of the that's a fascinating comment just came in. Israel or Palestine? I was hoping to discuss that with other people, but unfortunately they're not available right now. So first, but I will broach on it. So Palestine, in my opinion, is the victim here. They are completely in the right. Israel stole their land, and anything that happens in this situation, Palestine is on the right side, and Israel is the villain. There is nothing Palestine can do that would make them, that would put them in the wrong. Israel is 100% the villain, and even if Palestine decide they want to be free from the land to the sea and get all the so-called Israelis out of there, that's perfectly justified because the land was stolen. All the Israelis there are illegal. So just going to move on to our next question there. What are your personal feelings on the Chinese today? Well, my opinions on the Chinese do not move much. They are overwhelmingly negative. After the news came out about the Chinese causing the Kung flu. So, by the way, that's not really news. We've all known this for a while. It's just been covered up by the mainstream media. Now that everyone knows, now that the politicians can't hide it anymore, I think you're going to see people all over the world clamoring for blood. Green insect Chinese blood. And we've got no choice. We're all going to have to go to war against China. It won't be another world war because China will be on their own, and China is much weaker than all the countries. I think Britain could probably defeat China on its own. Yeah, it'll just be It'll just be easier utilizing our allies in the US and elsewhere to take them down. After conquering China, I would like to see Hong Kong become part of the Britain again. Culturally, they are pretty much the same anywhere. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. As for the people of China, I believe they are evil Chinese bug people. Their intelligence is very low, and yeah, so they should make for easy pickings. Yeah. Just joined by William.
Hi there, Moni, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly, William.
You're very, very quiet, Moni. You're really quiet. I think you might need to do something with your microphone.
I believe the issue is that the thing isn't picking up my headphone microphones, and instead it's using my laptop microphone.
Can you hear me loudly and clearly?
I can hear you perfectly.
I'm both apparently we're both quiet.
Okay. Well, I can wait. I can upgrade you. Say something. I've maximized your audio, so you should be as loud as.
Okay, our lar.
Oh wait, I can make you even louder. You should be very loud now.
Can you hear me now?
Red. Anyway, I could always hear you, so nothing's changed there. I'd say you're probably too loud because I can even hear static. Oh, crap.
Okay. Yeah, it's circling in green to me. I think it's just picking up a lot of static at the moment.
Yeah, as I was saying...
Tell you what, I'll log in,
logging off and back out. But yeah, war with China is on the menu, and by menu I mean the Chinese menu at the local takeaway. The war might start at home. I am surprised that Chinatowns have not been burned down. They seem like an easy target, and that's probably where well, more like a million bug army. You see, it doesn't matter how many meat shields they have because they're weak. They can't actually functionally do anything. Um, throw them in front of bullets. What do you think is going to happen? We've got more bullets than they've got people. Um, so yeah, there's China can't even really beat India. Uh, oh yeah, and India will be involved in this war as well. So China will be attacked from the south by India, the east and from the east by the US, and from the west by the UK, and from possibly from the north by Russia, if they decide to weigh in on this. Um, so yeah, there's really no chance of China surviving the onslaught. I think we'll see a similar situation to as we saw with Germany after World War II, where it's the land is partitioned. Um, so Western China, the Xinjiang region, that will become the powers involved will probably want to avoid that becoming an Islamic caliphate. So it will likely just become a puppet state of the US, similar to Iraq and Afghanistan. Um, Tibet will become part of India. North China will be incorporated into Russia. And East China, where most of the people are, that will become an independent China. That region has historically been what China is, so it's completely fair and reasonable. There are no issues there from what I can see. Got to come on, say, please unhide your Xmas stream where you watch Seaside Mark and Salad Fingers. Is the best upload on your channel. I'm not sure if I have hidden that. I did hide quite a few at the request of Eben because, well, I won't go into personal details, but it was just the first 20 episodes that I hid. I don't think that was among those that I hid. I think that one should still be visible. Yeah, the issue, I'm just going to take a look to see, to make sure that it is still available. So it should be episode 24. No, 32. 31, 32. Yeah, here we go. I will link you the Christmas special in the chat. There you go. So yeah, there we go. I'm just going to take a look to see still hear me? Yeah, so yeah, I was saying earlier, Britfeel seems to have gone really slow. Oh wait, no, everything's fine now. The green bar is moving again to show audio is being picked up. So I'm just going to take a look at Brit, see if there's anything more fascinating going on over there. So, let's see. All the blacks in the back. I like how that kind of rhymes. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, so as usual, Brit has got a high post quantity but a very low post quality. Let's see. So yeah, just going to take a look at some rail fares. So countries like France, Belgium, and Italy that have got nationalised rail instead of privatised have got much lower rail fares. So in France, it's £29 to go from Marseille to Nice, and Italy, Milan to Bologna, it's only £16. Right, it's about £100 to go from London to Bristol. Absolutely insane. We definitely should have voted for Jeremy Corbyn, but the media was so against him on that. But if you do want to support British industry, purchase our Warhammer kit, because Warhammer is good, and it is a British company, and it's very popular right now, and it might actually become one of the biggest companies in the entire world if all British people back it up. Regarding Finland abandoning me, I'm very upset about that. Because we were very close. We had several intimate moments, and just left very unceremoniously. Didn't say goodbye. I think it may be a product of his neurodivergence. I do know that he was struggling with severe autism, and that made it difficult for him to express his emotions and to resolve the issues that we were having.
What up? Sorry, I completely forgot.
Okay, again, great to have you join us. Just answering one of the questions that just came through. So yeah, again, very hurtful. I'd say it was a personal betrayal even, but I'm still getting over it. It would be nice to connect again. I do think that is still on the cards. And yeah, I do think about him regularly. I know it creeped him out to say that he was my son, but in some
Wait,
ways,
you have a son?
he will be. Yes, he's a Finnish boy.
Oh, I thought you meant like actual biological son. I was like, what the fuck?
Right, yeah. Adopted or fostered, whatever term you want to use.
So like more internet thing or whatever.
You could call it that, or you could not call it that. I personally wouldn't call it an internet thing. I just call it like a regular adoption. Or
Well, did you have the paperwork? Do you have like the? Hey, Billy, what's up? Oh no, never mind.
He's apparently having some kind of microphone issues, even though I could hear him just fine earlier. He did have a bit of static, but yeah. Apart from that, it's fine. And the static was a massive issue. Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. Anyway, So I'm just going to take a look at the next comment that's just come in. So yeah, we're discussing the top topic of Britfeel right now is the alleged grooming gangs. So one of the comments that's come in from Mohammed is as follows. They shouldn't have been wearing them short skirts. They were slags. They came to me and wanted some spice. So how is that grooming? How is it grooming if a slag basically wants free weed and gets involved with packy lads? How is that
I think
grooming?
I
Stupid
think
slags shouldn't
as
get
a
addicted, should she?
I think a grown ass man doesn't really have that excuse if there's like a if you know if you got like an adult man who's giving drugs to a kid in exchange for having sex with, or not even sex, for raping an underage kid. I
Define
think that
kid,
that makes him
because that word is very emotionally evocative and it means different things.
like I know like America's like, oh, you saw coochie from a 17-year-old, but like, I'd say like, these are like 12, 13, 14-year-old girls, so like no.
I think there was probably only like one 12-year-old. Most of them were 13 and up.
But that they raped a 12-year-old girl.
Oh my god! After there were like allegedly about over 1,000 victims. Why are you focusing on
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minority
yeah.
of
They
12-year-olds?
raped. If you rape even a single 12 little girl, then you're committing a sin against humanity. I mean,
But
rape is bad enough. Even if they weren't kids, like if you rape 1,000 people, that's fucking disgusting. No matter if they're kids or not, and because they're one of them is a kid, it makes it even more vile, even more disgusting.
it's like calling someone a paedophile if they, despite
I think
raping a
well,
thousand adults, they raped one kid.
yeah, if you rape a single kid, yes, you you are a pedophile, kind of. I mean that's the point.
It's dishonest though. Like,
No, no, it's not. If you rape a kid, you're a pedophile. That's how that works.
well, I feel like the media has to be more responsible and add like
No,
an
no,
asterisk and a note.
if you rape a kid, then you're a pedophile. That's how the game works.
Well, um, well, in
Yeah,
some countries
that
it's legal.
well, there's some countries that are like backwards shitholes. So
Oh, really? Like Spain, where it's legal to have sex with 13-year-olds.
exactly.
Oh, well, I thought Spain
No,
was your closest ally.
no, fuck Spain. They never pay their damn taxes.
Oh, and I suppose you don't like them because they're Catholics as well, and the Spanish Inquisition
No, I have no.
persecuted Jews.
No, I don't care about that. I love the French, and they're traditionally Catholic. It's like
But
the
they,
world. It's like I gotta read. Just give me a second. I gotta read this.
okay.
Okay,
No,
yeah. Sorry for Keep continuing. I'm back in the game. No, it just has nothing to do with like maybe they'd pay their fucking EU dues if they'd stop raping kids. So
well, so one of the topics that came in earlier that I wanted to hold off on was the conflict of the illegal colonization of Palestine by Jewish settlers.
oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I can't wait to kick your ass.
Oh, I
Ah,
thought you'd
yeah.
be terrified because the actions of the settlers is completely indefensible. And
Why? Try it. Try me. I mean, the Jews have been, dealing with shit for like over 1,900 years. If one of the best armies in the entire world can't wipe out the Jews, what makes you think a bunch of assholes, with sticks and rockets from the 80s can?
well, they're not actually trying to wipe out the Jewish settlers. What Hamas is doing is actually very clever. They
I
know
don't know, man.
they know what
I mean, I know it's pretty smart to like, use women and children as meat shields. So, but I know that that's pretty far from like, I mean, if you're using your own, women and children as meat shields just so the media likes Jews less, maybe you might want to analyze if what you're doing is the best idea.
they're not very effective shields if the settlers keep killing them and shooting through them. They wouldn't even be using
Yeah.
them. Like they don't
No,
even ward off attacks.
it's all marketing. If you're like if you're like Hamas guy and and like an IDF guy like fighting and stuff. You know, if the Hamas guy just grabs some random 3-year-old and throws him in front of the bullet, you know, it's easy. It's easy marketing. You know.
Actually, we've actually fallen
Yeah.
into your trap here by discussing this. Hamas has got nothing to do with this, really.
Yeah, sure.
The fact of the matter is that the land that the settlers are on belongs to Palestine, and
Yeah, I mean that is kind of fucked up, but frankly, I have no interest in commenting in that regard.
right, so
It's interesting, I think, that people get a very binary position on the issue rather than saying, like, right, the Palestinians are right or the Israelis are right, rather than saying, right, this is what the settlement should be. It should be like 1947 borders or 1967 borders, two states who don't have to like each other, but they're gonna like live
Yeah.
separately. That's
Yeah.
the kind of ideal.
I believe
Yeah.
it should be a one-state solution. Why should Palestine give up any land? All of it is rightfully theirs by any ethical measurement.
Because they were Jews there prior, long prior before a Palestinian entity.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't understand.
Because like so for example, well, firstly there were Jews there like living continuously for a long time as a small minority. In it used to be part of the Ottoman Empire, and then in the 19th century, Theodor Herzl encouraged lots of Jews to buy land and move there. So throughout the 19th century, more and more Jews moved there, and then obviously in the 1920s with the pogroms, tons of them moved there, and obviously during the Holocaust, like millions of them moved there. So it's not like they all turned up one day in 1945. It's like they're just like continually moving there in a country that was once just a province of the Ottoman Empire. So
well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think that's like most people already know that. I think that's already common knowledge. Yeah. But I think like a lot of people forget, like, you know, the Jews have been trying to get, you know, Israel for, I think, what was the first time we got kicked out? I think something. I think I know this. The first time was with the Assyrians. Then it was with the Romans that gave us shit, and then there was the
70 AD.
Yeah, and then there's the Crusades and all that crap with the Saracens. Both the Saracens and Crusaders were kind of being dicks.
Oh, well,
so yeah, it's been there's been like Israel has been, you know, dealing with the Jews have been dealing with like trying to get Israel back for longer than even Islam existed. So
well, it sounds to me like the Jewish people are the problem here if they keep getting kicked out.
Yeah, so you got to solve the Jewish question. Yes.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm just saying, why the hell do these people? It's a bit odd to go into another country and kick people out.
No, I'm
a country. You just say, "Oh, I'm in charge now," and you don't kick out the natives.
It's not really like that though.
It was a mixture between kicking out and like suppress and like violent, you know, persecution. There's a mixture, but like sometimes people are booed out, sometimes, you know, they're killed a bunch of them, sometimes they're just like, you know, don't go to synagogue, go put an iron spike up your PB. I don't know if that actually happened. I'm just that part was over dramatization for for that purpose, I have to admit.
Basically, what happened was the UN in 1947 gave a resolution where they split the land like 50-50, like pretty much.
It wasn't 50-50, it was 58% in favor of Israel.
Oh my god!
It was pretty close. I'm looking at the land. I'm talking about in 1947, not 1967.
No, I'm talking about 1947 or whatever. It was 58%. I have this on good authority. I have heard several people comment.
Okay, so 58%. But the point was that in Jerusalem would become an international city, administered by the UN, and the Israelis accepted this, but the Palestinians did not.
Yeah, because the Jews went from 0% to 58%. And the Palestinians
0%. They both had 0%. Money. The land wasn't controlled by the Palestinians before 1947. It was controlled by the British, and then before then the Ottomans. They were people that.
Ottomans. That's just a different way of saying the Islamic Caliphate. So the Palestinians were part of the Islamic Caliphate.
Yeah, and they rebelled against it.
They got tricked by the British.
Yeah, that's their fucking fault.
Oh no! Of course, you take the side of the people doing trickery.
Yeah, why? It's world history. You know, if you're allowing yourself to get fucked over, then that's your own damn fault. You know, that's why, you know, it's the same thing like, you know, with like
the
Jews.
Holocaust.
We fucked ourselves over with communism. You know. it was a dumb move. Like it was a move from like, okay, fair enough. Like it comes from like being pissed off at the Tsar, but yeah, we kind of do have to take care of, take credit for communism. So, and I will keep, hold accountability for that, because that was a dick move, and we, even in the Soviet Union, we, paid the price for it. But if I could take fucking accountability for communism, and I fucking hate communism, you guys could take accountability for being absolutely retarded.
How come you've got like an American accent now?
I don't understand what you. I don't really hear that, but maybe Chad could say something, and maybe.
Yeah, since the last spoke to you, you sound like a bit more American.
Well, I have been hanging out with a lot of American people at uni, so maybe that could be an influence.
Yeah, I prefer
Ah,
to
shit.
sound German.
I'm getting my ass kicked, man. Ah, dang it. Trying to play EDO Pro while doing this, and I made a cut.
What deck are you running? What deck's a good deck?
I don't really play meta, but I'm playing Mermail Control, and I fucking hate Boral Sword Dragon so damn much.
Oh, well.
I'm playing against Mechanite World Legacy.
Oh well, Barrel Sword Dragon's been good for quite a while.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Surprised that he's still around, because usually things become shit after like a year or something. They get power crept, or they get banned or limited. I think you're gonna have to wait until the new extra deck creatures come out before it becomes irrelevant. Like how the top synchros are made irrelevant by XYZs, the top XYZs were made irrelevant by links. So,
I mean, you still got some like good synchros, and like there's Adamantipate, Risen Dragite. There's that fucking psycho thingy majiggy. Even
that's because they went back and they tried to make them relevant again.
But even like some of the older ones, like they're not great, but like Trishula is pretty solid, and like the Rabbit Synchro deck. Yeah, no, Trishula isn't broken.
It used to be broken at its peak.
Yeah. At its peak, it used to be broken, but these days it's it's okay. It's a solid thing. Like if you happen to not make it, be able to make it a level 8 and be able to make it a level 9, then it's solid. But no, I'm gonna get my the Boral Swords can swing for game. Yeah, fuck this. Okay, sorry for interrupting the discussion of past science getting allowing themselves to be jibbed. No pun intended.
So I'm just gonna bring up the first terrorist act committed by Jewish settlers in.
That was like this ultra orthodox dude back in the 1980s. Yeah, that was a dick move, but
1980s? You mean 1920s?
I don't know, man.
I think Schubert is thinking of the Cave of the Patriarchs massacre. Which is something different. But also there was a lot of like genocides of not genocide, but like ethnic cleansing of Jewish people and Arab people in the 1920s.
Yeah,
they just like attacked each other.
Yeah. Cave of Patrick. I just looked up. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Yeah, that was a dick move. Makes us look bad. Not good for publicity. Shame, really.
Israeli Zionist rock I've been listening to.
Oh yeah, you posted that the other day.
Yeah, like calling on God to like strike down the Palestinians. He's quite insane. Like he's an American Israeli guy.
Yeah.
Dov Shirin, but he loves the Beatles because he's like in his 70s, so he's like a typical boomer as well.
Okay. Like I gotta admit, like it is like like when I hear that kind of stuff, like it's like the bird brain part of me is like, oh yeah, but fuck them all. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't help anybody. Genocide helps nobody. It just causes more tensions down the line. It's an easy solution to a complex problem that creates more complex problems down the line.
This is oh, here we go. Yeah, it's from the second book of the Bible of the Torah, Exodus 22, chapter the chapter 22, verse 21. Do not mistreat a foreigner or oppress him, for you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. You shall
Yeah,
not oppress a foreigner, for if you know in the heart of a foreigner, seeing you were foreigners in the land of Egypt.
exactly.
When a foreigner lives with you in your land, do not mistreat him. The stranger who lives as a foreigner with you shall be as a native born among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you lived as foreigners in the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your God.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. That's why, like, of course, like I do like memeing and stuff about whatever, but like at the end of the day, if as long as you don't strap a bomb vest to yourself and start blowing shit up, and we're going down to Rochdale trying to get some cunny, I don't care if you're white or black or Chinese or whatever, man. Just if you're chill with me, hang out, man. But I think the problem is that, like, you got to be extra careful in the case of, like, you got to take a lot more, like, security for stuff in Israel specifically. That people are very on edge in the region.
Um, uh, going around Israel and just talking to regular Israeli people, and it turns out they're all psychopaths that want to kill all the.
I mean, I highly doubt that. I mean,
It's been going around the internet recently.
like, well, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on around on the internet, but like, of course, there's the ultra orthodox that, like, and not even just the Chabad Lubavitch, but like the militant ultra orthodox, But if you want to equate like the militant orthodox to all Israelis, then I think it's fair if I equate, I don't know, Rochdale and ISIS to all Muslims.
Well, considering
Like
the
if
majority of Israelis are ultra orthodox or not.
nah
No.
nah nah.
Most of them are not. Ultra Orthodox is like a specific group of people, but a lot of them don't work in Israel. They get paid to, in inverted commas, study Torah.
Okay, fine, I get it, but there are still
Like
Zionists and
it,
nationalists. Every
well,
single Israeli is a crazy person.
how do you define Zionist?
By what I saw in that video, all the people who want to kill the Arabs and want Israel to exist.
Well, I think the Zionism is mostly about the existence of the state of Israel, less about killing Arabs or whatnot. Like there's like it depends. Like I think a problem is, like, of course there are some people who call themselves Zionists that are absolute crackpots, but they're massively in the minority. Mostly Zionism is just like, this is Israel. This is the Jewish home. It's been the Jewish home since existence of Jews, or
Whose
depending on how
land was it before them? Huh?
Christ if I know, but for the longest time, that
The
has
Romans. It belonged to the
uh,
Romans.
uh,
So what? So maybe Italy
whoa,
took control.
whoa. No, that's incorrect. The Romans actually came in quite a lot later than the Jews, actually. I mean, the Jews were already settled there by the time the Romans came in, and as I said, that was the second time Jews were given crap, and the first time was, like, I think. Now, Billy, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you know a lot about history. So, was it the Assyrians, or was it the?
So yeah, they kind of the Persians. So what happened was you get the first. So basically, you get the first. Israel is basically conquered the kingdom of Israel by the Persians, and they get captured and they get taken to what's now Iran, and they live in exile there for a long time. And then in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, they get to go back to their land and reform their state. And this is all
Oh,
like
that's
500 BC.
fiction. You can't trust that stuff.
Actually, no. This is actually the part of biblical history that is actually confirmed by a lot of historians. So actually, a lot of historians might like secular atheist historians might say that a lot of the Bible was actually written in like the Old Testament, the Torah was actually written in exile when they were captured by the Persians. That would be there, as in like written down, like they had like oral traditions of their history in the Torah,
Yeah.
and then it was like written down physically when they were in exile, and they come back and kind of recreate their kind of Jewish kingdom in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, and
Yeah.
then basically they get conquered by the Romans, and they live under the Romans for a bit, and then they rebel, then the Romans destroy their temple in 70 AD after
Yeah.
Jesus.
Was that that you mean the destruction of the second temple, right?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, so so when they come back from Persia, they rebuild the temple. It's sort of, that's called the second temple, and then the second temple is destroyed by the Romans like 500 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, the always that's the now correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the remaining western wall will be the last remaining piece of the outer barrier of the second temple.
That's correct, yeah. And there's a whole like Jewish movement for to rebuild the temple and to create the third temple, which would be the third temple in Jewish history.
But you got the Dome of the Rock there, and I mean, like,
exactly, yeah.
As much as like it like irks me, there's a certain point where I am willing to acquiesce. I like, I really would like the temple up there again, but frankly, I do not want to deal with the backlash of busting the Dome of the Rock, and frankly, yeah, you got to compromise sometimes for the goal of peace.
Have you ever been to the Western Wall?
Actually, no, but I do plan to go. As I plan to. One of my plans is that I'm thinking about doing it like either finding an Israeli college for my exchange semester, or just taking like a week there after as like a little thing when I get my bachelor's done.
You can put in some notes in the wall.
Yeah.
It's like Israel is the country where the most people write letters to God. You can literally write a letter to God, and the Israeli post office will like deliver it to the Western Wall.
Oh, that is cool. I gotta try that one of these days. Like I know, I even like in a religious perspective, I highly doubt that Hashem would like spend his time reading letters, like it's like, because God is more of a benefactor than a real. At least in the Jewish thing, he's more of a he pays attention sometimes, but if it's not absolutely necessary, he just does his own thing. Make sure that So I doubt he'd read it, but like it would be a nice thing to do. Say I've done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever go to Israel, Moni? Moni's gone. Yeah, it's the only problem with going to Israel is if you got a stamp in your passport that you've been to Israel, it means you can't go to certain other places in the Middle East.
Oh, that's no problem with me. Like,
Yeah, you can't go to like there's loads of places like if you go to like people who work in the oil industry and they work in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Bahrain or whatever. Like when they look through your passport, what they're looking for is a stamp that says Israel, because then they won't let you in if you've been to Israel.
Testing.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I thought you were all ignoring me for a while there.
No, it just we couldn't hear it.
Yeah, my mic wasn't working for some reason. I think it's just the port that's a bit dodgy. Yeah.
Yeah, Moni, would you ever go to Israel? Consider taking a trip to Israel.
Well, the answer is only when the land is free, when it's free from the land to the sea and under native Palestinian rule, and the settlers have been expelled, or unless there's some kind of rebellion there and they are recruiting foreign fighters to help liberate them.
Dang.
How do you think they would take to have transgender person Moni in the Palestinian homeland? I'm not sure Hamas would be too happy, to be honest.
That isn't that funny? Like when you think about it, like maybe I'm just stop me if I get too ahead of myself. But I think the most ironic thing in the model political landscape is that you have like a lot of left wing liberal people that are like pro Palestine, like so you're for gay rights and trans rights. It's like yes, and so you're for Palestine, yes. Like now you got to imagine which of those countries celebrates gay rights, and which of those countries at best bans them from doing anything in public or throws them off a roof. So I always find that to.
First off, you've just admitted that Palestine is a country. Secondly, Palestine's got bigger things to worry about than trans rights. They're trying to get back their effing land and trying to survive day to day. So it's not a surprise to have it enacted.
Well, I mean, they still have the time to throw people off of houses. So
that's not true. And again, the IDF does a lot of this propaganda stuff by trying to pink wash themselves and say, "Oh, we're so vegan, we're so gay." It's propaganda. and it's all
Ah,
bullshit, and
We're so
I don't,
vegan.
see straight through it.
I don't know, man. I just think like a lot of left wing people just support Palestine because it's trendy, and
Israel Defense Force, vegan and gay.
man, that sounds pretty. That sounds pretty. Like the veganism is like shit, but like little. Man,
You know,
I'd like I'd like a conservative Jewish boyfriend. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but like
apparently Israel is a very high proportion of vegans, though. It's very surprising.
Why the hell are you doing IDF propaganda? This is literal Jewish propaganda. You're literally reading out the textbook.
It's not literally it's not even a pro-Israel thing. If anything, it's an anti-Israel thing. I'm not a fan of vegans. It's just an interesting
yeah,
fact.
yeah,
It's just
like
like yeah.
yeah, veganism is gay. That's pretty lame. So I know I'd agree that is pretty cringe. No matter who does it.
Oh, so someone just said I would get used to the mud flap on a terrorist Toyota Hilux if I ever visit Palestine. Well, again, there are no terrorists in Palestine, only freedom fighters and elected officials. So that's complete bullshit. Also, I'm glad to hear that you support the Al-Aqsa Mosque remaining as it is and being closed off to Jewish visitors. Although that didn't stop those soldiers from marching in, did it?
Well, I'd say like I think everybody should be able to like join a be able to go to a place of worship, even if it's just for tourist purposes. Like I like I'm not Catholic, but I don't want to be barred from like going in nice cathedrals because like the architecture is good. Like say whatever you want about the Christians, but their architecture and their religious music is amazing. So
Oh, I actually
so
meant
it like I'd like to see the Dome of the Rock just to look around, and I don't know. Are you allowed to take pictures in mosques? Because like I don't want to be like I don't want to be like a dick.
well, people were taking videos when the soldiers marched in, so I guess so. Um, I did want to ask you, as a Jewish a convert, you'll always be a second-rate Jew. So wouldn't you rather convert to Islam, where you'd be
That's
considered
actually
like a top-rated Muslim?
that's actually incorrect. There've been Jewish converts even mentioned in the biblical texts, and they were like and the thing is like there was a bit of an issue with if you read specifically in the part where they're moving on there if they're where they're describing who does what with setting up the temple, taking the hides, taking the metal stuff, and all the carrying the crap. They also mentioned like the converts, it's hard to put them in a place, but just put them in the place where they just generally hang out the most. For example, I think the only exception was the specific part of the Levites, because the Levites were the equivalent of the I don't know the exact ritual reasoning, but the Levites counted as a specific firstborn, and yeah,
They're a
that
priestly caste. They didn't have their own land in
yeah
Israel, but because
yeah
every like tribe of Israel, like Judah and Ephraim and like Issachar, they all had their own land, but the Levites
yeah
had no land, but they were a priestly caste. And like
yeah
you can convert to Judaism and you'd be considered a Jew, but if you're a convert, there are some rules, like you can't
yeah
marry like a priestly caste person, like you can't marry a
yeah
Levite. But that's
that
kind of
is
it.
true. Yeah, that's about it. But like I can understand like that. I can understand. It makes relatively sense.
Well, if you move, well, that's talking about olden times. In modern times, in literal, in the land occupied by the Zionist settlers, they've even got groups that say they don't want uh, their people intermarrying or mixing their blood. Uh, so, yeah, that's quite
Well,
that they've got.
while I personally disagree with that concept, I frankly, even when discussing things with, I'd say very like I don't want to say ultra, definitely not orthodox, but definitely classically orthodox Hasidic rabbis. They personally have like, as long as the person, of course, convert Jews are going to have to prove themselves more, show rather than tell what actions speak louder than the words. But of course, generally there's no real problem as long as you can prove your true intent. Of course, so I guess it's the standards are higher than for regular non-converted Jews, but other than that, there's not that much of an issue with that.
Can I ask you a genuine question? Do you
Yes.
think that Israel is like a religious state or an ethnic state? Because the way you speak makes it sound like you think they're all in it for the religion, whereas I believe that it's all about race.
I don't believe so. I mean, there's quite a few, was it Ethiopia where there's like very very dark African Jews. There's Sephardic Jews from Spain. There's Ashkenazi Jews from Eastern Europe. There's I don't know the specific term, but the Middle Eastern Jews, who are traditionally like the not part of the diaspora. Judaism is very widespread when it comes to ethnicity. So, and heck, there's even Chinese Jews. They're a very small group, and like sadly, they're being oppressed by the Chinese government, but they do exist. So, and frankly, I think at the end of the day, if you know, as long as you know your prayers and your stuff, then why not?
Well, they'll tell you exactly why not. If you went to Israel, they would cart you off in the back. They'd knock you off a rooftop, and
I
they'd
I, hi- I highly doubt that. I may get some concerned statements from some very I'd say fundamentalist gentlemen, but from the Jews I've spoken to, from Chabad Lubavitch to non-practicing but born, they don't really have any problems. Like, of course, there's always some crazies in every religion,
you
but
tell them that you want to settle
I,
there. Watch their opinions change. They only want you because
well,
you're a useful tool. Um, the moment you're trying to encroach on what's theirs, trying to get in with the group, then they'll tell you that you're not really one of them. But whereas with Muslims, you could like actually be one of the group. We'll like properly
I
take you in.
but I don't want to associate with a religion that's never had any option to reform itself, officially or unofficially. It just, Judaism and Christianity have both had, countless reforms over the years, which, where you can go from anything to um, extreme fanatic zealot, like say Westboro Baptist Church, or the militant Orthodox, to I like God and I like doing other stuff. Like I said, is the very, very, very liberal Jews, and I guess maybe
So
what
was
would
it?
be the Christian? What would be the Christian equivalent of like liberal Jews? King Billy, do you know? Like the
Um,
like
Like
the
some sort
very
of Episcopalian church hippie Christian.
yeah, exactly.
so was it the liberal Jews that sterilized the black Ethiopian Jews?
No, the Ethiopian Jews have existed for quite a long time. I believe
Yeah,
that
but when existed outside of Israel, but when they went inside of
yes,
Israel, then they got sterilized by the other Jews. Was
I,
that
I
the liberal Jews doing the sterilizing, or were it the more
well,
hardcore ones?
first of all, I've never heard about that, so
It's
I'm
in
just going to have
Forbes, and it's been independently verified.
just
Forbes and the Independent, sorry, Forbes and the Independent, not independently verified, but yeah, both
mm,
very reliable news sources.
I'm not going to say Forbes is fake news because so far I haven't heard anything contrary. But let me read the article while
Yeah, Forbes is about money, so no one, so of course a Jew would trust it.
I think that's rather anti-Semitic.
Well, as you've probably learned over the last couple of weeks, anti-Semitism is fashionable now because,
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, it's fashionable on the uneducated, but
yeah, Zionists and the new Nazis. You watch a video from Israel.
I don't know, man. Like I I don't really care for being ignorant, so I'm not really into that.
You're not. Well, if Germany declared war on Israel, who would you side with
Why would Germany declare war on Israel?
to defend the
That's
Palestinians?
Why would Germany give a damn about people that constantly drive trucks into Christmas markets, stab people. There's no money. There's no money or any possible good idea in it. Like plus, Germany gets most as much of it as a shame to me as a German patriot. Germany gets Germany would be fucked over if the United States withdrew military support, and I think Israel is pretty much the United States, thus the West's biggest ally in the region, the only ally that we can really consistently trust
It's
to not
not. It's a
to
military
not to
base, not an ally.
yeah. Well, it's same point. It's the same thing with Japan. They're an ally and they're also a military base. And so I think, to assume that the United States or any of our, the United States allies would ever attack Israel, I think is a pipe dream for at least next, give or take 50 years, unless something radically changes, which I highly doubt.
So, well, where do you believe the next Islamic Caliphate would center from? The previous caliphate was Turkish-based. Where does it appear the next one will stem from?
As a meme, I'd kind of like to say, the Western Chinese provinces with all the Uyghurs, just to, it'd be nice, poetic justice, considering all the vile things that the Chinese are doing to the Uyghurs there. But I don't think that's really, going to occur. Maybe Saudi Arabia, but Saudi Arabia is too money focused.
And
I was
just going to say they don't seem very popular with any other country. They're not well liked. I would have said Dubai.
Well, why Dubai? Like,
because they're popular with the West. They're like the most fashionable Arab country.
Yeah, of course, but why would there be a caliphate in Dubai?
They're like innovating and stuff.
Yeah, but thus innovation and a fundamentalist religious uprising are not exactly hand in hand.
Just wanting to let you know that in response to your comment about Israel being our greatest ally, someone has said you are.
I said in the region. I said in the region, not in general.
Well, the response to that was this guy is a living happy merchant.
I appreciate it. I wish I had that kind of money, but frankly, sadly, these days mostly the Chinese control the banks. But I'll get my money back someday, and I'll be swimming in a pile of shekels. I'll be like Scrooge McDuck. That'll be. And if I ever do that, I may just consider buying USRS money. I may just consider it.
Regarding the topic of COVID, I've had one jab of vaccination. How about you?
Nice.
Two? Neither of you two had any vaccinations?
Billy, you want to go first because I've been talking my.
Had any COVID vaccinations? I'm probably in the demographic least likely to get any COVID vaccinations for a long time. Me grandma's had it, but other than that, she's the only person I know who's had it.
Yeah, I guess you're not really valued by society that much, huh?
I think pretty much men in their 20s are just like the least likely to get it.
Well, I'm in my 20s, but I guess because I'm a woman, I get like elevated or something. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I just meant people in their 20s in general, like healthy, fit people in their 20s.
Yeah.
They think you'll be able to take, like, it's the least priority. The elderly people and people with any kind of health problems, but I've got no health problems that I know of.
I only got a jump to the queue because I've got a relative in the NHS and I'm part of their support bubble. I heard Germany's got a shortage of vaccines, so you probably don't know anyone that's had it, have you? Nope, Schubert seems to have disappeared.
No, sorry, I spaced out because I was reading the Forbes article. Would you mind repeating that question, please?
Germany has a shortage of vaccines, so you probably don't know anyone that's had it. Is that right?
Well, I actually, my good friend, let's just call him Tim for the purpose of anonymity. He already got his first vaccine, and quite a few people From my university got it because apparently they were informed that my university is handing out vaccines, but I did not get a message, so I'm planning on calling them on Monday to say if by any margin of chance that they might have some left over.
Tim doesn't sound like a German name.
Yeah, so Tim. Oh, I guess it's more of a British name actually, but you know how through globalization names generally swap around.
The reason he might have got a vaccine then is because he's actually not of German heritage. Like if he's an expat.
Oh no, he's very German. He's blonde. He's got blue eyes. He's about 5'11". You know, he's very German.
If he says so, but yeah, it does seem a bit odd that they didn't contact you. But again, but doesn't Germany have a shortage of vaccines? Isn't that true though? Because that's been in the news that EU's had trouble sourcing vaccines.
Well, yeah. It's also been partly the issue because AstraZeneca did not deliver on their promised amount.
Oh well, I got the Pfizer one anyway, so I've got nothing
to. That's better. Like, but I'd say that I think the issue is that there's a lot of bureaucracy in the German medical system and in the German legal system in general, and we do have an issue with that. So it's going to take, I think, it's going to take us quite a bit longer, but we will luckily have the insurance that there will not be another wave due to this very careful undertaking of the situation.
Oh, one question. Israel's vaccinated most of its Jewish population, so why haven't you been able to claim a vaccine through Israel since you're Jewish and they care so much about Jewish people and they value you just as much as any other Jewish person?
Well, I didn't say it yet because after all, conversion is a long and strenuous process. I'm only about maybe 40% there, and I plan to have it all done maybe in the next 2 years. Well, but because it's like a casting process. They don't just take any old random Gentile who's like, I want to be a Jew. You gotta work for it.
Islam does. You can become a Muslim in just 1 minute.
Well, I'd rather not take part of a religion that has such a wide cast of unvetted characters, I guess you could say.
Well, you could rise to the top of that heap. You could become one of the top Muslims in Germany. You could become the
I'd rather not. I really have no interest in doing so. I'm just gonna be honest. I think the issue for me with Islam is that it seems the religion itself just doesn't make me feel comfortable. It feels it's I don't agree with a lot of Christian dogma, but I know that generally the concept of Christianity is very at least in theory and outside of the United States is mostly based on loving thy neighbor and respect.
What about the raping your daughter's part?
Pardon me?
That's in the Bible where the guy raped his daughters.
You mean where? Yeah, that was of course degeneracy, and I believe he was punished quite severely for doing so.
You're not talking about that. But I think you're confusing the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where his
daughters got him drunk, and then they had their way with him. So
so that's a different story in Genesis about like the foundation of Moab. So like the Moabites, who are like the enemies of the Israelites, supposedly their daughters of Moab got her father drunk, and they had sex with them, and that's the ancestors of Moab. It's mainly just a story to make the Moabites look bad, I think. But the story in Genesis about the history of the daughters being raped thing is that some angels come with I think it's Abraham and Lot, and Lot says, and they go to the city of Sodom, and some men in Sodom begin banging on the door and say, "We see the men who are with you. We'd like to rape them, please. We'd like to have sex with these men." And Lot says to them, "No, please don't rape these men. Look, I've got 2 beautiful daughters. Why don't you have them?" and the men are not happy and said, "No, we want the men, and we'll do harshly with you as well." And so the angels blind the men, and then they all leave the city of Sodom, and then Sodom is destroyed, which is where it's a very, very strange story. But then Sodom gets annihilated. But there's a lot of different interpretations of the story as to whether it's actually about homosexuality or whether it's actually about like inhospitality and rape. But it's kind of difficult to really connect to a story that's that old, like what that meant at the time.
I think the
But
interesting. Sorry, were you going to say anything more?
no, go ahead, go on.
I think the interesting thing about what is kind of sad, like it was back in the day, so I think it's interesting the way that biblical Torah equates the concept of homosexuality with stuff like bestiality and incest, and like I understand I understand why specifically in the Torah they said homosexuality was damned, because if you got a very small tribe, and of course you want them to be fruitful and multiply, you just want, like I said, to tell the gay people, suck it up, make babies for the community. So
I think
of course
they also seem to really associate it with pederasty, like
yeah,
older men and young boys, and also with rape. There's a
yeah.
really strong association with pederasty.
I think there was quite a issue in the time where like also you saw that in Greece and Rome, where like I'd be interested how many these homosexual relations were actually based on homosexuality, or more like like the the straight guys who like traps who like look awfully like underage boys. And I'm not trying to be like the guys like, oh, animes for pedophiles, but like I mean like do you know what I mean?
I hear you. Anime is for pedophiles.
I mean my point is like I think it's I'm sure there was quite a valid reason for condemning the more degenerate side of homosexuality back in the days. And if that's all you saw of it, then I'm sure I cannot blame people for such misconceptions.
Uh-huh. So, if Christianity is such a nice religion and such friendly one, why did they do the Holocaust?
I don't really think that the
Hitler,
German.
go on.
Yeah, he did use the excuse of the Jews killed Jesus to get like the Bavarians on the anti-Jewish bandwagon. It was mostly just to find a scapegoat so that Hitler could get the money to have his magnificent products felt, so he would people wouldn't be asking questions like, why is this guy building a military equipment that's never going to work, and they'll just say oh, of course it's going to work, what are you, a Jew? And like it's just to try to find an enemy, and the Jews were happen to be like a popular whipping boy ever since that manual, that like the protocol of the elders of Zions that the Russians wrote to get the czars to stop making reforms. Is like, oh, you don't want giving the people rights, that's Jew talk. And so it's just a whole clusterfuck.
There's also a very interesting book called Hitler's Table Talk, which is records of Hitler's private speeches with some of his generals and closest confidants
I think it's been
in
written
in
by a
the
Jew.
Wolfschanze. Sorry,
That sounds
Moni?
interesting. That
I
sounds
Yeah,
think
interesting.
it was written by a Jew.
no, it was actually it is actually pretty clearly from Hitler and Himmler. But both Hitler and Himmler looked down on Christianity quite a lot, particularly Himmler, because of well, one is Jewish origins, and two, as in that's quasi-Jewish origins, and also because like some of the kind of talk in the New Testament about like the first shall be last, the last shall be first, blessed like the meek shall inherit the earth, all that stuff was kind of very anti-Nazi ideology, which was more like Darwinian. The strongest will survive. The strong are destined to conquer. The Germans are the pure Aryans who will crush weak and cowardly races. It's like the Sermon on the Mount is very much anti that. So like Hitler like looked down on Christianity. In fact, there's actually a specific one where specific place in the table talk where actually says he somewhat slightly prefers Islam to Christianity because he thinks Christianity encourages weakness.
That's an irony if I've ever seen that coming.
So I'll Google that for you now. There's a quote he has on Charles Martel, who was
Yeah.
the first Catholic to defeat the Muslim invaders.
Yeah,
and he actually says he wishes that Charles Martel had lost.
that's
So,
kind of sad. It's kind of whack. Gotta say, like,
yeah, the main reason for the Holocaust was racial, basically.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
okay when Christians do it. I understand.
No,
There's a
it was
more
it's
elaborate reason.
no, it's never okay. The point is that I simply know about the European culture circles, and it's important to, if you want to understand how to not be a hateful person, and if you want to understand how to prevent hate from your daily life, then of course it's important to understand how
Yeah,
these things
walk around
occur.
Russia for about 5 minutes. I'm sure you won't get your head kicked in for being a faggot.
Well, I mean, you don't see me running around with the. And the point is, like, I don't know why you're bringing Russia into this. I also do
They're
not like Russia.
Christians, aren't they?
Well, I think there's a difference between Orthodox Christian and like
Oh,
Catholic
okay. So you
Christian.
might be the right type of Christian as well. There's so many qualifiers here.
I mean, yeah, because as unlike Islam, Christianity had a billion fucking reforms. There's a billion different ties. And in Islam, it's just like, oh, do you be the guy that happens to think it should be a direct descendant of Muhammad, or the one guy who thinks it should be the guy who's like I guess Muhammad's confident. It's something with Sunni and Shiite. I know it's like I know the very basics, but that's.
In Islam, we have the concept of the Ummah. So we're 1 billion strong who pray to Allah all year long, whereas in Christian, you're all split up into lots of little tiny groups. And with Jews, it's even worse. You exclude everyone. So that's why Islam will ultimately prevail, because we include everyone and we don't cast people out.
Well, let me ask you something. Why is it statistically like? Let me ask you something. If you ignore the say oil wealth, and you compare the achievements of Christianity and Islam, countries that have been say culturally affected by these, um, how many achievements in the past 300 years can you ascribe to Christian, Christian culture, Christian, culturally Christian countries versus the Islamic countries, like culturally Islamic countries or culturally Muslim countries? Pardon my French.
Well, plenty, but I do just want to bring up that World War One happened, and the caliphate has
Yes.
been split for about over 100 years now, and that's been a major issue and why we haven't.
I'm just gonna read out the quote from Adolf Hitler.
Okay.
It comes from a
Please do.
transcription. So Hitler was transcribed as saying, "Had Charles Martel, he was a French king, not been victorious at the Battle of Poitiers, as a battle in France with the Muslim armies who'd come through Spain, then we should in all probability have been converted to Mohammedanism, that cult which glorifies the heroism and which opens up the seventh heaven to the bold warrior alone. Then the Germanic races would have conquered the world." This exchange occurred when Hitler received the Saudi Arabian ruler's Ibn Saud's special envoy Khalid al-Khud al-Garani. Earlier this meeting, Hitler noted that one of the three reasons why Nazi Germany had some interest in the Arabs was because we were jointly fighting the Jews. This led them to discuss Palestine and the conditions there, and then he stated that he himself would not rest until the last Jew had left Germany. Khalid al-Khud observed that Prophet Muhammad had acted the same way in driving the Jews out of Arabia. So I think it was more about race, Moni. Like it was the idea like that Jews were like a Semitic, more like Middle Eastern people that shouldn't be in Europe, and what they needed was a racially pure kind of Europe. Like that was the main motivation.
Huh. Well, that is a very well. I've got a speech for you as well. It's a German one, from the Nazi period as well.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
So, would you like me to recite it in the original German, or
I,
the
I I'd,
English?
ra- I'd rather you do not butcher my language. So
Uh, okay, so Germany in any case has no intention of bowing to this Jewish threat, but rather one of confronting it in due time, if need be, in terms of complete and most radical error suppression of Judaism. I ask you, do you want total war? If necessary,
yeah,
do you
that
want
was
war more total and radical than anything we have we can even yet imagine. Now people rise up and let the storm break loose, and then you've got everyone chanting, "We want war" or something.
Like
Yeah,
rebels. Total
yeah,
Krieg.
yeah.
I think it's called the Sport
It-
Pal-esque speech.
it's the total the speech of the total
Yeah.
war. Yeah.
That's weird of you to refer to it by its English name, but yes, the
Why
total.
we're speaking like it's like okay, das kann man auch die Rede vom totalen Krieg nennen, but we're an English company and I do know it to be impolite.
Yeah, the most famous of Joseph Goebbels' speeches. Quite the speaker, mind
Yes.
you.
I mean, I will admit the Nazis were excellent at rhetoric, but rhetoric won't win you a war.
But it will make sure you're remembered and have support as long after your death, because
Well,
after saying
I mean,
something, you
I mean
die.
that's the problem. If your only supporters 80 years old are the ones that are, you know, the uneducated, the poor, the agendaless. If you want to create a political ideology, you need people who know how to, who are smart, who are hardworking, who are, willing to make sacrifices for the common good. And frankly, at least maybe I don't know how it is in Great Britain or America, but like in Germany, the only people that are really Nazis are like, I don't like to use the word white trash, but I've never met a modern Nazi that was college educated. I've met many staunch nationalists that were college educated, but never an actual Nazi.
Do you think it is about these days, about the modern world, that tends to attract the lowest of the low in society towards very extreme like that kind of far right racist national ideology? Because of course, back in the day, you had a kind of intellectual side of racism and fascism. Why do
Yeah,
you think that's died down?
I think it's mostly because people. Well, of course, people are still looking for scapegoats to this day, but it's less about, I'd say, specifically like in the internet. If you look at cancel culture, it's less about race and more about political ideology. So like you're more likely to hate somebody because they disagree with you politically than like of their you know uh, whatever perceived racial differences you have.
Oh.
I think but like there's still like the traditional pointless scapegoating, like, and ironically it's like quite a lot from and I think that's kind of I'd say that I see that with like the American cultural I don't want to say cultural imperialism because I don't want to sound like some leftist, but American cultural predominance in the world and their effect. I'd say it's you can really tell, like the way Americans like keep calling everybody Nazis when they are like mildly conservative. I think it's kind of quite ironic, really, because yeah, they're not Nazis. We all people could show you Nazis and you won't be laughing anymore, man. Like that shit's serious. It's just I think it's generally rather ignorant, but ignorance, I think the problem is just people just don't know enough about history to really make qualitative judgment. Like I do admit like my historical dream would be like another monarchy, like proper like give me the emperor and like all that fun stuff. But I understand that's never going to realistically happen. It would probably cost a lot of money that we simply can't afford to spend, and it would be a giant clusterfuck. But especially diplomatically, the rest of the EU. But you just gotta make do with what you have.
So should Germany be giving reparations to Israel as they are currently, or is that just ridiculous?
That's a hard decision. I'd have to say yes and no. Like originally, like when Germany spent like quite a lot of money, I think Germany should if Germany should give reparations, it should be to Jews inside Germany. So
Oh,
and
you
of
in other
course
words.
no, not even me, because frankly, I'm not Jewish yet. It's like I like say repair like if some like dickhead like throws a brick at a synagogue and breaks a window. I think the guy should be forced to pay for the thing out of his own pocket. But if he's like you know I guess you could do a sort of like thing where like the German government pays for it, but then the guy has to pay it back over like a fixed rate. I'm not like I personally don't believe that the German government should focus an overt amount of money beyond what it gives to churches and stuff or other cultural institutions. But I do believe that the German government should ensure that when Jews have to face the actions of some individual massacre, that at least facilitate these the buildings, or the people getting the best possible care at a hospital, or the buildings being repaired and stuff like that.
Do not German reparations? Do they not just apply to? Because I just heard this from a guy I met once who said his grandparents got he was an English guy. His grandparents got reparations from the German government, but because they actually sort of lived through the Holocaust when they were born, they had to leave Hungary to escape. But it didn't apply to him as a Jew. It just applied to the people who like specifically experienced that at the time.
Yeah.
If they were kids and had to move, but they were the only ones who got money. You can't just get it because you like your grandparent.
Exactly, that would be.
Got money.
That. Yeah, I have to agree. Like they had to deal with it, so of course, I guess give them the reparations because
I was listening to
But like, he doesn't need it because he didn't have to suffer through it.
Yeah. But I was listening to a podcast by a guy called Coleman Hughes, who's a Black American critic of Black Lives Matter. But his criticism of like the whole reparations for Black Americans was that it doesn't make sense to give just like like anyone who's Black in America reparations from the U.S. government. What would make more sense would be to give some form of reparation to like older African Americans who grew up under Jim Crow laws in the South. That would make a little bit. He said that would make a bit more sense.
That does make sense. Like if their business was closed for I don't know, racist reasons, that they at least get the money, like a part of the money back that they would have made if the business had stayed open or something.
Yes,
something
because they're not giving away enough money right now. Didn't they print half the dollar last year?
Well, I don't think I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like I'm not American. I have really not much of a stake in American office. I'm just giving what I believe would be morally acceptable. But
I've heard they printed half their currency last year. So
yeah, well,
Are you buying gold to stock up to deal with the impending inflation that we're going to experience?
Bitcoin.
You're buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Not gold.
Right after the boom,
might buy some gold. Maybe
buying Beanie Babies. The joke is that you're buying things that have already peaked.
You're very quiet, Moni.
The problem, fam, with buying Bitcoin is that there's not a lot of regulation surrounding it, which means that Elon Musk can just do what he wants, buy a whole lot of them, and then refuse it, and then just crash the price. Literally any other asset, he'd be in prison for what he did right now for manipulating the markets.
I fucking hate Elon Musk. He's a fucking faggot.
No, you have brought it on yourself. I warned you that it was stupid.
No, but I bought the dip though. But I'm still. I bought the Elon Musk. He created the dip, and I bought the dip. But I'm still.
You were always gonna get fucked. You were buying when it peaked.
I haven't gotten fucked. My investments are still at zero. No losses, no gains so far.
Yeah, because it's at peak. Then
why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? I'm drunk and I can control my emotions.
1 second I'm too quiet. Next I'm screaming. Make up your mind.
Moni,
screaming.
You are screaming. You are raising your voice quite intensely.
Yes.
Because he's delusional to the truth. Like, what the hell did he expect? He literally bought it at its fucking peak. It was never gonna work well. It was a terrible decision.
Well, no, I don't regret it. I haven't lost money yet. But
it's not going up. It was never gonna go up.
It's not going up. I think they're weeding out what I just want to put in money and let it be there for 5 years and then go and check on it. Everyone.
Yeah, of course. A free money.
Yes.
That's exactly how it works. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it.
Moni, you're a fucking retard. You think the government can hand out free money and stuff and everything will be jolly? No, the dollar's gonna crash. Bitcoin is gonna rise.
It did rise. It's already risen. The tide has come in now and it's crashing.
No, it's not
right
crashing.
Now.
calm your man tits, Moni, for fuck's
Oh,
sake.
fine.
Well,
It's peaked.
I've
It's done the thing. It's done the rise. It's not gonna go up by like a massive percent. It might
I,
go up by like
I, I
1,
could
2%.
I could sell now for no gain in value, no loss in value, but I believe in
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
sell
So
now for
uh,
no
uh,
gain or loss in
no.
value. Then
Famong, how when was the Elon Musk dip again? Because I'm looking at the Bitcoin right now, and it seemed that for the past month it's been going down a bit. So
He did it like could be 2-3 weeks ago,
okay.
and it's been it dipped for like 5 days, and then it stayed at like $35,000 or something. I'm gonna get my phone and log into my account so I can check it.
Well, I genuinely wish you the best of luck in that regards.
oh my god, just go back to a year. Just see how much it's risen. That's its base level. That's where it's gonna go back to. It's gonna go back to about 10,000. Jesus fucking Christ! I told you, terrible decision. Absolutely. Well, I don't want to be too harsh and call it moronic, but obviously it's just common sense. Don't. It's something clearly.
It's not though. Moni, I hate all your opinions. They're like very basic, bitch. Trust the government. Take it in the ass.
I was right about Trump losing the election.
In 2016?
Not 2020.
No, you were wrong then, yes.
Well, to be fair, I thought myself that I think I was also duped into thinking that Hillary would win. I did not really consider how utterly disliked
Memes.
Hillary Clinton was. Yeah, how utterly disliked Hillary Clinton was.
She won
and
the popular
how,
vote. She can't have been that hated.
I mean, if half the if that's the thing, she didn't win the actual vote, whether she won popular or not. So there were enough people to dislike her that it cost her the election.
Oh, Bitcoin is up. Nice. Wait.
Yeah, well, like it went like up 30 from yesterday, right?
Yeah, I've lost. I invested 400 euros, and I've lost 40 euros.
Oh, that's
Well, let me just tell
one,
you this:
it's
Bitcoin,
one DS game.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most major cryptocurrencies have fallen sharply over the last week as the crypto market roller coaster rolls on. The Bitcoin price has fallen almost 10% since last weekend, despite rallying earlier this week amid a slew of positive Bitcoin and crypto headlines emanating from the annual consensus conference. Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin, has lost 50% of its value. 50%! In 2 weeks after surging to an all-time high in mid-May. All-time high, aka the peak. There's only one way down from when you're at the peak.
Well, Bitcoin has had like thousands of peaks. It has gone up 200% every year, so it's a new peak.
Hey Moni, speaking of depreciating assets, I wonder, how much are those toilet cams of yours worth these days? Do they still work?
I've got no idea what you're talking about. Those are just malicious rumors that have been spread by incels.
Yeah. I was just noticing the thing on R9K. Yeah, just stole Shush joke. Sorry, Shush.
Do you ever post an MTFG? Because whenever I post there, someone posts about my background. It's annoying.
I mean,
You're kind of fucked up, Moni, to be honest.
Yeah, you did. If politely said you had a very colorful life, and politely said you're quite a sexual deviant, even more than myself, and I'm quite a degenerate.
Allegedly.
And the blog post about you having retarded children and you wanting to abuse them, like confirmed trash human being.
Really, that's rich coming from all the crazy stuff you've said about capitalism being good. That's pretty evil.
That's because it is.
Though.
Capitalism is. I mean, capitalism isn't perfect, but it's the best system we have.
What other economic system would you prefer to live under, Moni?
I feel like
communism. Obviously, he's a trash person. So.
Oh wait, mercantilism. Yeah, Middle Ages, baby.
What the hell's that?
I think like back then, it's like it was built off of exporting as much as possible while importing as little as possible. So it's kind of self-explanatory why it did not function for quite a long time.
That sounds like a good idea, actually.
Yeah, but if everybody's doing it, then it doesn't work.
Oh,
Because if you just put tariffs on everything that doesn't come from your country, and everyone does that, then no one can really properly trade with each other.
Yeah.
But like according to Marx, there's basically he describes in what he calls the materialist view of history that like human beings are like evolving different economic systems. So he says that in the beginning, human beings lived in what he calls primitive communism, like in small tribes where everyone is essentially sharing property. And then he says that that primitive communism basically evolves into slavery, where every goods are basically and products are basically made by slaves, and there's a class of owners who own the slaves. And then he says that begins to post like collapse of Roman Empire, that begins to evolve into feudalism. He says is the next stage, where you have the lords who control everything, who control the land, because land is the most important economic resource in feudalism. And you have the peasants who are sort of owned by the lord, but not like fully slaves. They have some rights, and they produce all of the food, but they have to give most of their wealth to the lords who effectively own them. And then in between them are the traders. And then he describes like the revolutions of like the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution, two different kinds of revolution, as basically ending feudalism and like promoting the trading and the merchant class up to the highest class in capitalism, whereby you have the people who own the means of production, the business owners and the traders, and the people who own the assets are the top class, and the people who basically sell their labor to them so that the top class can make profit. And he describes or capital, and he describes this as capitalism. And he thinks that the final stage of humanity will be a return to communism, will be the final stage, where the workers rebel against the people who own all the assets and all of the means of production and create a socialist society based on the Workers' Party. But yeah, there's a lot of problems with that, and a lot of people have like critiqued like it's not an fully accurate view of history or an accurate understanding of like like how economics actually works. It's it goes into a lot of detail about like commodities and how price theory. So like Marx predicts that under capitalism the poor will get poorer and the rich will get richer, but in reality throughout most of history the rich get a lot richer and the poor get a bit richer. That's been how it's worked for most of capitalism.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting richer until the Rona hit.
What's your opinion on the Vikings then? Because the way that they were living seems to be a mishmash of capitalism and socialism, because they would steal things from other countries, and that's capitalism.
Yeah, no, that's communism. Stealing from people, that's taxes, that's communism.
I think it's unfair to simplify a morodic lifestyle as based off our modern economic understanding. I think that's
how is stealing capitalism?
Oh no, I didn't say that. I just.
I said to Moni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
you create a thing, you sell a service, someone pays for that. Oh, you're stealing? No, you're providing something in exchange for money. Communism is stealing though, through taxes. That's literally pointing a gun at someone's head. Give me money or I'll put you in jail or kill you if you resist.
You get something back with socialism though, but with
capitalism, no, you don't.
The rich just take from the poor and don't give anything back.
Fucking hell.
I think it depends on the kind of cap. Like, of course,
maybe if you're a loser, you're against capitalism. But if you provide something, you'll get paid for it.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that I believe while libertarian capitalism is, of course, better, that it's the better pipe dream than communism, because it allows for ultimate freedom. Specifically, as you can see by the example of America, you do have to have a very minimum amount of regulation. A very minimum amount of stuff like public, like at least semi-public medical services, and at least somewhat government-funded universities, but that to also benefit the general common scientific level. But I think taxes should be as limited as possible, as limited. They should exist, but they should be very limited.
Yeah,
I probably said gone.
Well,
Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna. I didn't want to talk over you. I was just gonna say that I think the best argument against communism I've ever heard was it's possible to, it's perfectly possible to imagine a group of people with like-minded communists in a capitalist society agreeing together to buy a plot of land, even in like potentially extremely large numbers, buy lots of land, and form a socialist society in which all the property is owned, all the property is shared, decisions are made democratically. And you can imagine that like by like half of like Yorkshire or whatever, and then basically just start that have like that commune like spreading further and further out. But of course, like that hasn't actually like a capitalist society can perfectly tolerate like small socialist communes within it, even in potentially large numbers. But the reason that doesn't happen is because like people who try living in communes, in socialist communes, where all the food, the property, and the housing is shared, it usually goes Lord of the Flies very fucking quickly. Like there's a lot of problems that start developing very quickly, and like power struggles, and people don't like it when they have to live communally when all property is shared. They're like people like very bad people start rising to the top very quickly.
Yeah,
It's kind of like microcosmic of like communist countries in general.
yeah. Also, and sometimes it even turns into like this very small version of feudalism.
Yeah. Like, but you can kind of see like when you talk about you mentioned there like anarcho-capitalist libertarianism is a better pipe dream than communism because even in like anarcho and like kind of ultra-libertarian capitalism, you could potentially still live on some kind of like socialized community. Like if you're like
Yeah.
for example the Amish, they all look after each other. They live in like a semi kind of sort of communal life where like everyone is kind of looking out for each other. Everyone kind of contributes to everyone's healthcare and general well-being.
Yes.
And like and even if you're like even like an Orthodox Jew or whatever, like you're part of this very tight knit community where people look after each other and kind of provide their own kind of welfare essentially for vulnerable members of the group. Then you can kind of be part of that in a kind of libertarian society, but
Yeah.
you can't really do that in a communist society. It's the one way and one way only, which is the way of the state.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so perverse about communism because if the state, the theoretical concept of communism never accounts for the state being wrong. But what if the state is, at the end of the day, people forget the state is no more an extension of the people. It's made up of people. The government is not the government. It's just like 10 or 20 or 30 different people with different opinions. And if one of them, and the most, if the most nefarious one, happens to rise to the top, in the case like of Stalin,
They always do psychopath
yeah,
climb
exactly.
what's it called? Societal ladders.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why most communists won't think of that. Even theoretically, even if the purchase of Stalin and the Holodomor and whatnot were not known, I think it's relatively quick to get from common sense alone.
The good thing about capitalism is all the very intelligent psychopaths, instead of becoming politicians who could like absolutely do horrendous damage, they can just become bankers and snort cocaine and fuck hookers, and like they can do damage by wrecking the economy. But at the end of the day, at least they're not destroying anything more. They can just be a greedy banker. And if you're a psychopath who's very clever and you don't give a fuck about anyone else, just be a banker. Don't kill anyone.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like, as perverse as it sounds, it's better to kill like one hooker than 50 million people because they don't need food.
What's the saying? A low IQ criminal robs banks. A medium IQ criminal works at banks, and a high IQ criminal owns the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just explained what's bad about capitalism.
No, but how about this, Moni? What do you think about the non-aggression principle?
Sounds good.
Yeah, but you don't follow it.
I gotta get my nukes, my NAP nukes.
Yes, I do. I'm not violent.
Yes, you are. You want taxes by the hand of a gun. You're forced to pay taxes. That's aggression against the non-aggression principle. So
I'm confused.
So
Money is that basically any kind of government action, like taxes to fund welfare or anything like that, has to
Sure.
ultimately come from the principle of violence. So, for example, if the
yes,
government wants me to make me pay taxes on my Bitcoin or whatever, the government and I say no, well, eventually, if I keep refusing, the government will order someone to put hands on me, take me away, or like force me. Like ultimately, all government power comes is generated from the threat of physical violence.
Well,
ultimately,
yeah, because you make use of all the government services that they pay for. If you have a fire in your house, who the hell is going to pay put it
Yeah,
out?
I agree with you, Moni, that has to be the case eventually, but you just need to keep in that the point that like a lot of ultra libertarians make is that any kind of government action, it's only made possible through the threat of superior violence.
Yep.
But that's but I would agree, like you kind of have to have that to a certain extent.
Yes, you have to have like a minimum amount of the state. That's why I said, as much as taxes are an evil, they are at a very minimum level and a necessary evil.
Maybe very limited. Maybe 5% taxes or something. I pay 70% here, so
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
70%
kind
is
of pissed about it.
yeah,
So,
70% is highway robbery. I cannot blame
yeah.
you for
You're
being.
seriously, you pay fucking 70% income tax.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was worried.
But
I just heard you.
oh no. But if you add up everything together, like employment tax,
All right,
income
okay.
tax, the tax you pay when you buy something. So if you're gonna buy something for, let's say,
Value
£3,
added tax.
you have to earn £10 with all the taxes. But yeah, it's fucked up. And
Well, because like
then again, the taxes goes a lot to like stuff you don't even want. So
What
that's
is-
wild. Because like and
immigrants,
like
single mothers.
the super rich in Germany, they pay a maximum of 45, and like and usually people pay like I'd say realistically 20 to 30 at most, and that's 30 would be solid.
But are you just counting income tax then?
That's income tax, but that's mostly income tax. Then there'd be like an extra maybe
But
5 or 10% for the rest of it.
He's
yeah,
never
but
had a
like
real job with us, so you can't really
when you
judge.
buy wares and stuff, you have what's it called in English, VAT or something. That.
Yes.
So like I was adding all that stuff up, and it comes to
Okay.
about 70% or something.
Okay.
So
Then
that's kind of fucked up, and
yeah, I'd have to look that up myself as well.
and
I'll get back to you.
and it's kind of easy to criticize the use of the money here in Sweden, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
because
So,
like all me like that'd be a good question. Like there's like all these cliches about Sweden, like giving refugees like free everything. Is that true, or is that just an exaggeration?
somewhat true. I think it's happening where I live. Somewhat, I've heard an immigrant said he got hooked up with an apartment and stuff. Somalis get to cut through the dental healthcare line and stuff.
Mm.
So it's starting to feel like Swedes are second-class citizens. We have to take care of the immigrants first and give all the tax money to them. So yeah,
You're sounding like
but-
some kind of nationalist.
yeah, I'm a bit nationalist. Like if you had, let's say, you have a family in your house, and you have neighbors, and both houses are on fire. Would you first put out the fire in your house, or would you put out the fire in your neighbor's house?
Oh, this sounds like something that you probably read on one of these racist national.
No, I just
pamphlets.
came up with it. I took it from some, but like you look out for your own firstly. You don't look out for someone 500 miles away. Firstly,
That's 100% true. Yes.
yes.
Just in case you ever repeat this sort of stuff, usually these sort of things are supposed to be subtle. They're called dog whistles because you don't.
Well, how is that a dog whistle? How is that a
It's
dog
not
whistle?
a dog whistle. It's very overt. That's the problem.
It's common sense. I see you prefer Moni. I see you prefer non-white people as well. I see it usually you hate on white people and prefer, I don't know, Pakis or brown people. I see you hating on white people a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
that is true. Yeah.
That's a very much more extreme version of me. I don't hate people. I'm just looking out for my own people firstly. But you literally hate white people, Moni, so
That's not true. All my friends are white.
do you have friends?
That's like, you know, like when like an American guy says the N word, it's like, oh, all my friends are black, you know, I can say that anytime I want.
So,
Yes, Moni, you amuse me. I
I think the real problem is fam. It's okay to be like crypto racist, but you're being a bit overt with the things you're
what the
saying.
fuck is crypto race?
It's like when you're a bit more
what is
clever. It's when you're a
It's
bit more clever about being
When
racist.
you have crypto.
Crypto means hidden.
yeah, I know, but it's like it still sounds
Uh-huh.
amusing.
Okay, fine.
No, like everyone is like this. Do you want your country to win the sporting event instead of like Somalia or something? Oh,
Yeah.
you want that? You're a racist. Why don't you support Somalia firstly?
Oh man, I like there's some like extreme left wing people in Germany who will actually do that kind of shit. I fucking
Oh my
despise
God.
them.
Oh.
Do they have a
It'd be good if Somalia won something because they're
like
struggling
like
in
yeah
a
like
developing country.
good like I wish them all the best in like soccer, but like if they're playing Germany, of course I'm going to be on the side of Germany because it's Germany. They're my home. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Somalia or if it's France or if it's, you know, America. Like I have
Worse
utmost
if it's France, to be honest.
no, the French are cool. Like as I said, like
Fucking frog. I will be racist against French people. I'm
um,
usually not racist, but I will make an exception for French people.
Why? What?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
yeah, I think like, you know, as much as I, you know, have respect for the French as they pay their taxes, they've been solid allies since let's say the 1970s. But you know, of course, if there's a soccer game and it's a friendly game, of course, and even if there's a war, which is never going to happen, like we're not going to have another French-German war at least in another century. You know, of course, I'm on the side of Germany because, like, you know, the French are cool, but like, these are my countrymen, you know.
I can respect racism against French people from Brits, though, kind of based with the English-French war.
Yeah, that was like ages ago.
Yeah, but no, 200 years or something.
Well, yeah, well, we had like we've been having wars with France, like Germany has been like for ever since then. And, like we'd settled our differences, you know, we worked together, and frankly, we've been, you know, co-ruling the EU ever since since you guys left.
Well,
That's Sweden. I mean, the British left, so
Christian Europe countries get along. Color me surprised.
yeah.
There you go. You're getting a little bit better with the dog whistling now. Don't say white, say European, and say Christian. Good job.
Sorry, what?
You're getting better at the racist dog whistling. Instead of saying white, you say European and Christian.
No.
So whenever you meet white,
Yeah,
you say European or Christian.
but
okay?
yeah, but that's it. You could say that's a white trait, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're doing.
So
Instead of saying
so
white,
white
you're saying
so whites are
European, the code
based, I
word.
guess, because Christianity is
Sec-
the best.
sorry,
Christianity is the best religion.
I
But,
gotta
we can talk
interrupt.
about it more.
I gotta leave for about a good 20 or 30 minutes. Be back in then. So
Just gonna
Practice your
actually, I'm
always,
gonna
mate.
shut off in
Yeah.
about 7 minutes at 10 o'clock.
Why so early? Just started.
Dang, Moni. I'm disappointed.
Bag.
It's because I work night shifts and I work 5 days a week now, so my sleeping pattern's all messed up, and I'm just.
Dang, Moni.
Oh
Why you
my
gotta
god, this
why you
is
gotta
not a communist dream.
I tried
Moni.
fixing it for today, and I tried waking up late, but I still woke up too early. So.
Wait, what? You're not working, but you're gonna go.
No.
Wait, what?
Just chug a Red Bull.
I tried fixing my sleep pattern a little bit, and I tried waking up early today so that
Why
I
when
tried
you're
waking up
working
late,
late?
sorry, so that I'd have enough hours of energy, but I ended up waking up early, so now I'm exhausted by this point. And I need to go to sleep.
Come on.
I'll try and do better next week, but I work 5 days a week now, night shift, and it's a bit awkward. I only get 1.5 days off, really.
I'm starting night shift next week, but there's like 6-hour shifts or something. Easy peasy.
Oh, do you?
I'm usually awake at night anyway, so.
Right, so you work 6-hour shifts and you're complaining about a 2.
No, I haven't started the night shift yet. My shifts are 9 hours at the moment. Has been for 2 years.
Yeah, I work 9
Before
hours.
that, I had weekend shift. It was 14-hour shift. So,
Oh,
King Billy, you've been silent.
still
I
Yes,
know
sir.
I've been pretty quiet myself. Yeah, I haven't got much to say really. It's been an interesting chat. We've covered all areas of
No,
politics, philosophy,
no,
economics, and it's
no.
also been quite silly.
Wait,
Um,
what were we talking about? Was
you
I?
were talking about like works and night shift. And
Ah,
what
yeah,
Money was
fuck
talking about
that.
is like night shift and all that stuff.
and you
Yeah,
take breaks.
But I was talking about more generally the conversation this evening. But yeah, I would kind of like to talk to you sometime about Sweden because it's obviously like I think about like 2014, 2015, 2016. Like Sweden on pole was like the whipping boy for literally every fucking
you can ask now. No problem.
yeah, okay. How would you say like the average political opinion has changed in Sweden over the last sort of like 5 or 6 years since like the maximum immigration? Have people become a lot more like skeptical towards immigration?
Not really. Like the woke people are still woke, and like the based people are still based. So
So it hasn't really changed at all about it. I was listening to Angry Foreigner, like I think it used to be called In Talar. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation there. But
Blatte talar. Yeah.
Talar. Okay, so he was saying that it's a little bit better now because people are like more able to talk about it in the way they weren't before. Is that correct?
Not really. Like the media is still pushing mass immigration and stuff. So
Well, I'm
Are
more
you
No.
hopeful or are you pessimistic about the future?
pessimist. Yeah, I am. It's not gonna work.
Why has
So
Sweden
what
never
are your
had a
personal
female?
plans? Are you gonna try and go on?
Why?
Invest in Bitcoin, get rich, and move in like to what's it called in America, like a fenced-in area,
Yeah, gated community. Yes.
gated community. Yes.
Mm. What are your plans? How are you going to emigrate to America? Like,
No, like do it here in Sweden, but
oh right, okay.
American style gated community.
Hmm. And you're going to so you work in like a car factory at the moment, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
A car factory. That's interesting. It's a good solid working class job
Yep.
making cars. But
You make it pretty okay for like a non-college job. You make pretty good money with that too.
yeah.
Like
But,
if it's like the technical part, yeah.
I'm like no, it's not technical part. It's very basic job, but like I am a chaos incel, so like I never spend money on stuff. So like I get like 1,000 euros left over every month as the pay. So like
Mhm.
invest that shit in Bitcoin, and I guess
Maybe one day,
things go. Yeah, if things go right, I'll be a fucking millionaire
Oh,
several
Stop
times
looking
over.
for shortcuts. It's just gonna blow up in your face.
well, if you
Well, shortcuts. You tried to become a woman, Moni. How about that shortcut? Fix your life.
That's a bit transphobic and completely inappropriate. I was actually going to ask you a very serious question about, despite your gender equality in Sweden, why have you never had a female prime minister?
I don't know. I'm glad we haven't had it. All the like female party MPs are terrible. So
Isn't there like a literal feminist party in Sweden?
yeah, but they went into obscurity.
Yeah, the top
All right.
parties are the
Feminist initiative.
the Swedish Social Democrats and the Moderate Party, which is just a left wing and a right wing party.
I have to admit that most of my understanding of Sweden, apart from like Poll and all that, comes from the TV show Wallander.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
this other book and film I watched when I was a teenager, called Latte den ratta komma in.
Yeah. It's
Let the right.
I've not read the book, but the movie is keen.
Yeah, the movie is absolutely fucking fantastic. I would absolutely recommend that to anyone. It's called Let the Right One in English.
Yep.
It's a Swedish film about like a 12-year-old. It sounds really bad, but like a 12-year-old like 12 or 14, yeah, 12-year-old vampire. It's really weird.
Yeah,
It has
like
pedophilia, so I do not recommend.
That's only in the novel. In the novel.
I have to read the novel then, I guess. No, just kidding.
Yeah, the novel is really fucking dark.
Don't they have a tranny in it? Isn't the girl like a boy with mutilated dick.
It's really really disturbing. The film is
Yeah.
much more it's a little bit more tame because they toned it down a lot.
Yeah.
But it kind of got me interested in this kind of like Sweden as like a kind of social democratic country with like on the outside people look to it as like the ideal country with like, oh yeah, like life expectancy and all these human development is really good there.
Yeah.
It's like the ideal social democratic country, but like inside it's got all these like deep seething problems. And
I
like
guess
tension.
I think it's set in the 70s as well. Like the 70s gives me the depression just thinking about it. So I think it's a bit
I think
better
it was
now.
in the 1980s, but yeah.
Yeah, 80s maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but it's about this small boy called like blonde Swedish boy called Oscar who
Yeah.
starts at like a relationship with a 12-year-old
Who smells
who
weird.
vampire who like was also like previously in a relationship with this pedophile, and like Oscar kind of
Like
Wait,
her caretaker is a pedophile because I used
in the
seen the
novel,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I used seen the movie. So
wait,
In the movie,
is
Go
this
on.
like a sorry to interrupt, but is this like one of those like fucking anime situations where like it's a 10,000, it's like a 12-year, but she's a 10,000-year-old lolly,
Yeah.
so
well,
it's okay.
literally exactly that's actually a line from one of the films. It's sort of like it's the line is like, Ellie, how old are you? She says, I'm 12, but I've been 12 for a very very long time.
I guess the Japanese you can't take all the blame for that plot device.
Yeah, and there's actually a nude scene in the film. It's
oh
kinda-
yeah, it almost made me threw up when I saw the cut up dick.
yeah.
Wait,
balls.
they actually took like a real? Oh, that's fucking disgusting.
Uh, it's not that like sexual or something, but
No,
like
it's not at all.
you can
It's
see like where the naughty part is supposed to be. There's like a cut and like sewn
Yeah,
together.
but it's
Made me throw up.
yeah. I'd rather not.
Yeah,
'Cause I like
I can shield my eyes when I see that because
yeah. It just
that's
like
makes me sick. Just like when I meet a tranny and I think about it, makes me sick.
yeah. It also like I remember like this one the one movie that like the really it was similar to I don't remember what it was called, but I think it was from a Nordic country. Maybe I'm very uncomfortable. It's like this story about like this it's like this male kindergarten teacher and like one of the students like accuses
Oh,
him of like
it's
raping
the Danish movie. What's it
I-
called? Yacht or something.
yeah, I only watched like the first hour of it. And I just like no, I'm fucking done. I can't watch this. This is just too.
Nice. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was just too like.
they made a American remake of Let the Right One In called Let Me In.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Like it's not
Yeah.
bad, but it's just basically just an American rehash of the film. It's
Just like
it's got
maybe Let the Right One In is a 9 out of 10, and the American version is a 6 out of 10 or something.
yeah, basically, but it would be a decent film if it wasn't just literally just an American remake for Americans who can't read subtitles.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Why don't
But,
Why don't they just dub it? They could have just done that.
Oh, I hate dubs.
But yeah, but like every other country can dub American movies. Why don't they just like dub if they can't read the
Do they
subtitles?
dub in Germany?
Yeah, they do. Like we have like
Cringe.
it's like most of it is pretty cringe, but there are some exceptions. Like I was like specifically, I not to be like the weeb man again, but there are like some, German anime dubs that are better than the American ones.
How are you gonna make it justice?
It is.
But it's anime, so it's trash anyway, I guess. But
Yeah.
like in serious movies and stuff, the actors' delivery and stuff, you can't dub it and give it the same feel.
I mean, it's not as good as the original. Like I've watched there's been some cases where I watched the German version. Like it's not as good, but it's it's if that's all you've got, you're not really missing too much.
Just add subtitles. It's not a big thing.
Yeah, but frankly, like there's less people that like subtitles in movies than people that do watch it.
I fucking watch Dark, no problems.
Well,
if you haven't seen Dark Schubert, sort yourself out seriously.
I have
German show ever.
Everybody keeps saying that, but I just never really got around to it. Maybe.
Oh my god, that's like what's it called when you're a spy or something for your country? National.
A traitor. Or?
Yeah, national traitor. Not watching Dark if you're German. Seriously.
Maybe I'll. How about this? Like once my exams will be done by the end of the month, then I can binge watch that.
Yeah, fair. I like first season very good. Second season, my brain starts hurting a bit, and third season, it's just a mess. Like you need 3,000 IQ to understand anything.
I like those kind of stuff. Like I like like weird horror where you have to think about stuff.
Yeah, but like after third season, you have to like do stuff for 10 hours just to understand the plot. It gets out of hand, but it's pretty good. You get the gist of it.
Maybe I can just drink a lot of alcohol.
No,
And
you'll
then-
be stupid. You'll be more stupid. Just listen to me. I can barely speak English right now.
Okay.
I think you can speak English well.
Yeah, but I'm
Pretty-
drunk now, so my
Well-
abilities are inhibited.
Well, for intoxicated state, it's pretty solid English. I mean, very solid actually.
Cheers.
You feel that
cheers,
your
mate.
personality changes slightly when you speak English instead of Swedish or German?
If I feel that,
Yeah. Yeah, do you?
maybe it doesn't feel natural to speak English. So like you're more on guard or something, like watching the stuff you say. Like you can't just flow natural like in your common tongue.
I was talking to a Catholic guy once who said that when he speaks Irish compared to when he speaks English, he feels like a slightly different person.
Yeah, but like there's some validity to that. Like they've done studies, like you can see it in their brains and stuff. They react differently when they speak different languages. So they have a whole different persona when they do it. I probably have as well.
Would you say that you're like what are you like when you're speaking Swedish? Are you like more aggressive, more assertive, or are you like a bit more?
I just
Like-
flow better, I guess. Like I don't have to think about words and stuff. It all just comes out quickly, more quickly, I guess. But personality wise, pretty much the same. I think.
What about you, Schubert? Would you say you're a slightly different person when you're speaking German?
He has
compared to-
very very good English though.
Thank you
Yes.
very much. I
Bad always though. Bad always. Have to keep you down.
I would say that when I'm German, when I'm English, I'm a bit more passionate about things, and when I speak German, I'm a bit more bit colder, like less more detached from situations. I can.
That's interesting. I've heard it's kind of a problem, like in marriages, if like you marry someone and you're like used to them speaking in one language, and you realize when they're speaking another language, their personality is actually quite different. Because like they're just not quite used to that. Like people who are like in like the French Foreign Legion, they learn French, but they learned French as a soldier. So like when they're speaking French, they're like very aggressive, very macho, very laconic. They don't really speak very much. But then his wife, after he left the Legion, realized that when he was speaking English, he's an American guy. He's actually like not quite like that. He was actually a much more kind of like bubbly, more fun person when he was speaking English because he learned it, like because he learned French as a soldier. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, French
Yeah,
Foreign
it does.
Legion and stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. We're just gonna go offline now.
Mm.
I need my beauty sleep. But yeah.
Then you might as well start, full sleeping beauty.
Eternal rest.
You're gonna need at least a minimum of a 4-month hibernation for that one.
1,000 years.
It's called a job, Schubert. You haven't even had a fucking job yet. Can't wait until you come into the real world and you get smacked in the fucking face by reality.
I'm actually really excited to, get a job. I really can't wait to like get into the corporate world and,
Oh my god, just wait till that optimism is crushed right out of you. It won't take long. I'll tell you that.
I don't believe so. I mean, I don't expect to be like a millionaire, but I'm not like I won't ever have to worry about working at a fucking call center.
I don't work at a call center anymore. I got a proper job.
He's
And
a call girl, not a call center.
I make over $2,000 a month after tax.
Wait, 2,000? That's
not that much. I make the same.
yeah, that's 24K a year, isn't? I mean,
Hold on. Let me convert my last paycheck into euros, so then you lock it.
Morty, what exactly is your new job? What is it? What does it involve?
Convert it to Bitcoin, like a relevant currency.
I'm not fucking converting it to that joke of a currency.
It's the only relevant person.
Yeah, convert it to shekels, damn it! Like while we're at it, you know.
Hold on. It's the largest paycheck I've ever gotten. Hold on. Just a second. I'll be currency.
Oh, this is like the what's it called? Vacation pay, extra pay. He's coming.
This is a regular.
Yes, no, it's not. It's not. It's the vacation. Oh my god! Try to boost those numbers. Oh my
and
god!
also, I think Modi, you should also.
159 euros is what I earned.
Not that much.
Yeah, it's like
I pretty much earn the same, and I have like a low IQ.
This is after
brain
tax,
that way. I have the same after tax. I have over.
And that's after they took 70% off your tax.
No, because then I haven't bought stuff yet, so the VAT tax isn't included. But after the employment tax and income tax, yes, over 20,000 euros.
Moni, regardless of tax and the current earnings, where exactly are your what exactly is your job description?
Okay, my current job
fag.
basically invoicing, indexing, and filing. So it's like secretary type work. So I take some proof of delivery notes and then just type their thing into the system and then just click the button to send an invoice, and then I scan it, and then I just go onto the computer and then just type in the little code thing, so then you can find the scan on the system. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. What is the upward mobility in that field?
Oh, they prefer to hire internally. So I actually actually have the opportunity to move into a different role right now because.
But not say a different role. What are your chances of getting a raise and a promotion? Like what?
If you blow the boss enough times, you might become his wife.
He's already married, actually.
Well, you know,
his mistress.
There's enough beta males that would, are willing to fund a proper, like a transsexual GF.
Okay, it's a good job. Okay, fuck off.
But the thing is, like, are you familiar with the consumption function?
No.
It's basically the idea that a long time ago, people thought that the average income of a person was determined by the money that they make right now. But realistically, because of course people plan for the future, a pretty smart guy called Milton Friedman came up with the idea of the consumption function, which basically describes, there is the idea of the permanent income, which says that when you pay for something, you plan on the money you're getting in the future. It's like, say, if for Christmas you're going to get a Christmas bonus, maybe in November when you buy the Christmas, or early December when you buy the Christmas gifts, you pay a little bit more money because you're going to get the bonus for Christmas. That's the concept. So, how can you be sure that it's a good job if you don't know if that your job has any upward mobility possibilities? Like, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Within the
suicide,
the confines of this job.
I'm happy with my current wage, but yeah, I would like to change roles.
Well,
where I'm working.
That's a very defeatist attitude. You should never be happy with your current wage.
Title, boss mistress.
That's the first step to poverty and old age.
Give this advice to Fam because he's the one that's going for the get rich quick schemes.
Why? He has ambition. He has drive.
No, like I have like more money than I can spend because I keep my head down and never spend money. So I don't know what to do with my money, and like I haven't invested much in Bitcoin, like nothing.
Invest in real estate. Save up to be able to.
Yeah, I could buy a cheap house.
Yeah, like
everything I got now.
Like save up as much as you can until you could buy an apartment. It's like it doesn't have to be a super great apartment, but like buy an apartment and rent it out.
I could buy a decent house right now. I have like 55k euros, I guess. It's like it could buy you a small house. But yeah, then you have to keep up, take care of the house and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty depressed, so I'm afraid the value of the house will fall if it's in my care.
Or you could buy a plot of land and maybe just do speculative, stuff like see like what if you like maybe there's a place in Sweden that outsiders will not consider, and then you could say, oh, I'll buy this plot of land, and maybe in 10 years it'll become the beginning of some trendy thing, and then you could sell it for quite a bit more, or you could
I'm starting to think like the government will turn all commie like take if I buy land they will take it away, I guess, because it's racist for white people to own land and stuff.
I looked over your election results and it's fairly diverse.
Yeah, like enough people don't vote for the right party, so I don't care about them anymore. Like they get what they vote for, I guess. So
No, I mean like a good third of the vote goes to like right-wing parties.
yeah, and like 2/3 goes to parties like never SD. We can't collaborate with them. We have to unite just to fight against SD and being fucking retards and ruin this country. So
Have you formally joined the Sweden Democrats, fam?
my family, no.
I mean, have you formally joined?
Formally, what does
Yeah,
that
like have you actually like a paying member of the party?
No. I guess I vote for them. I don't give them much attention. Like they're still a political party. Like I don't love them, but like I'll vote for them, I guess, but like they're pretty retarded, to be honest.
Why does the entire south of the Sweden vote for the Swedish Democrats?
Because they have many immigrants, so they know the consequences.
Right, that's what things are. Okay then. Just curious
Yeah.
about that. Your map looked a bit weird.
I may sound like I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I genuinely mean this as an honest question. Would you say there was any aspect of Swedish life that was improved by the refugee situation?
Food, right?
No.
Okay, I just meant that like as an honest question.
Yeah. It's a fair question, but
Not even
yeah,
food.
I don't think so.
Contribution to the arts.
Wider
Like-
variety of takeaway restaurants.
Yeah, takeaway. It's not like it's not the greatest of food.
Yeah.
Like I could live without it.
The doner
I'll-
kebabs have gotten better.
I've seen your fucking meals. I think you should be grateful
Yeah.
for having takeaway options.
No, but like I'll die 10 years earlier because of this shit.
What about the arts? Do you ever listen to any colored music or watch
Arts,
colored
no,
people in
it's
film?
it's terrible because like Swedish black rappers are just what's it called? They're trying to imitate American black rappers, acting
Yeah.
like they're slaves and stuff. It's very cringe. Like when we took them in, like and paid for them and stuff. Like, oh, I'm a slave. Oh, it's so cringe.
What about Laureen, who won Eurovision? Do you like her?
Yeah, but I don't consider her super immigrant. Like more.
She's got quite dark skin.
Yeah, but she seems like a higher class Middle Eastern person.
Yeah.
So here's the question I think everyone is actually wondering about Sweden. Is it true in all the memes that like men are very popular with blonde Swedish girls, or is that just a complete meme?
Mostly a meme, I think, but I think like very woke girls will like date black men just to show how woke they are, if you know what I mean. Like Arcoid. Her boyfriend was black.
Yeah.
She's like she's a nationalist or something, and it turned out
Wait,
her boyfriend was black.
Oh, fuck! That reminds me. I forgot. I found this meme just because I wanted to clown on Arcoid. Let me find it. Like, sec.
Always appreciate clowning on Arcoid.
Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna have to actually move.
Oh, wow.
Take a look. Queen of Spades. That's amusing there.
Bit of an obscure meme, but like,
Have you ever? Here's a question: have you ever actually seen a woman in real life with a Queen of Spades tattoo?
no, thank God.
Probably American thing.
Yeah, like the only time I've ever even heard about it outside of 4chan was like this one like Seth Zinch video.
I think once I saw like a teenage girl with like, so I think it's had like something on the back of her phone with like an ace of spades thing, and it said something about like
Oh
willing
my-
slave, or it was really that was the only
Oh
time.
my
Oh, that is
God.
that is cringe.
That was the only time. But I was on Justice. So I might have. I'm not sure what it was. I just like caught a glimpse of it from the back of her phone, but that's about it.
Moni, what's it called when Muslims like hit women and stuff?
I don't think it's got a name. Domestic abuse, but that's just
No, but like he should go all Harambe on that girl. Seriously, teach her a lesson. We condone violence, but not in that case. Fuck's sake. Wait, what does condone mean? It means you don't support it, right?
No,
Condone means
Yeah, we
Sorry.
support it. You're
Wait.
thinking of condemn. Condemn is not supporting it. Condone is supporting it, but I can understand the confusion.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's like, let's say you're watching Fast and the Furious. We don't condone fast driving.
Yeah, we don't condone. Yeah,
That means we don't support
yeah.
driving. It always fucked me up. I think like condone meant we support for the longest time.
Condone
Never mind.
does mean support.
yeah.
Wait, what?
We use in that example you gave. You said
Wait,
don't condone.
wow, we don't condone, we don't support driving
Yes.
fast.
That's
like
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Condo-
do condone
condo-
or you don't condone. So you can use it differently. Do or don't.
Condone is
That-
support, I guess.
Yes,
Yes,
condone
correct,
means
yeah.
support.
No, do condone is support. Don't condone is not support.
Yeah, that's
We
what he
don't
said.
condone.
Okay.
Yeah. We
This-
don't
this-
condone. We don't support. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
right.
this is fun.
English lessons. Yes.
Yeah,
It tripped me up for the longest time.
yeah. But like no problem. Like shit happens sometimes.
You can be my new son if you like. Because I lost my.
Jesus Christ, Moni, have some fucking self-respect. This guy was clowning on you this whole time. Jesus.
That
I
is
don't want to
normal
be
for a
your
child.
son. I've read your blog. You're planning on abusing your children and stuff.
Are
Fuck
you
that shit.
retarded? Because if you are, that only if you're retarded will I be abusing
Well, that's kind of mean. You should have respect for your children's disabilities.
Like Moni, this is a genuine question. Like Moni, at the end of the day, yes, you are transsexual, but you are, you do pass at least barely as a woman. There's
not
like,
that with the nose. No.
But the thing is, like, there's tons of guys that are so fucking desperate that they'd be willing to, pay you a pittance or something if you had, like, even if you just gave them the time of day. Why don't you do that?
Because I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. And I was almost
Or-
raped by an African immigrant. So there's that as well.
Well,
Wait,
yeah, well,
Morning. Was it because you were wearing an ace of spades tattoo?
Actually, honestly, I'd pay Moni 50 euros PayPal, no questions asked, if she got an Ace of Spades tattoo on her face.
Yeah,
The
he
tattoo
had
would
it
cost
on its
more than
forehead.
that.
I don't care. Like it's just
We can pay for the tattoo.
yeah, sure. We can all pull
Put it
some.
on your
Yeah,
in the middle of your forehead.
Yeah, we'll pull some money. Yeah.
I might do it as like a teardrop, like an upside down.
No. It has to be like full degeneracy, like full, like very painfully obvious, very trashy.
Okay. Right, calling it a night now. Final closing comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch hockey anyway. I'll stream
Yeah.
if anyone wants to watch.
Nah.
Wait, I have one question for Schubert Duber.
Yeah, sure.
How do you pronounce it? Dreisaitl.
You mean Dreizack? Like
Dreisaitl.
Dreiseiten?
Dreisaitl. He's like the second best hockey player in the world.
Type in the name. Sorry, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar that much with
What the
hockey.
fuck?
I only know Wayne Gretzky. I don't watch hockey.
Wow.
Dreisaitl. Yeah, Dreisaitl. Yeah,
He's insane. Like he's German and he's like the second best player in the NHL. Like maybe not, but like scoring wise, he's the second best player. It's kind of weird. Like you have the second best player in the world and no one knows who it is. Like culture difference, I guess.
Yeah.
He's the Peter Forsberg of Germany, I guess, if you know who that is.
Peter Forsberg. I really just don't
He's
know.
the most famous Swedish hockey player.
Okay, as I said before, like the only hockey player I know is Wayne Gretzky because that's like the standard.
He's pretty good. Mario Lemieux, you know him?
No, it's really only Wayne Gretzky, honestly.
Yeah, he's pretty based, to be honest.
Yeah, I think my dad would always say when I was a little boy, you know, like he was always tell me, it's like, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know.
That's what. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky quote.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
I'm just gonna Google him here. Leon Draisaitl. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he won last year. He won most points in the league and stuff. He plays on the same team as Connor McDavid, who's currently the best player in the world. So maybe that's boosting his stats a little bit. But yeah, he's pretty insane. It's like weird. Like nobody cares about hockey in Germany. So you have the second best player in the world, and nobody knows who he is.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like Germany feels like Germany's like always been soccer for some fucking reason. Like our second most popular sport is handball of all things. Like handball is a walking fucking meme, to be honest. Like
yeah, it's pretty popular in Sweden as well.
Really, dang.
Yeah, I would say it's soccer first, football first, and then hockey, and then probably like what do you call it, like the Olympics and stuff.
Athletics.
Athletic.
And then maybe it's handball. Fourth biggest sport, but yeah, it kind of makes me sad that he's not known in Germany. Like,
that is kind of
he's like he's like the what's a good example? He's not the Messi, he's not the Ronaldo.
Yeah,
but like a good third. Who's the third biggest name? Let's say Mbappe or something.
Yeah.
He's like the Mbappe of hockey, and like he's not known in some country. Kind of makes me sad, to be honest.
Yeah,
like
he's a fucking amazing. He's an amazing French soccer player.
Mbappe, yeah.
Mbappe.
Mbappe. Like this, 71 games, 110 points. That's like Wayne Gretzky numbers. They had that last year.
Dude's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
You think I don't know the exact statistics, but I think like a game where Mbappe is within the team, like the winning chance increases to like I think I heard like 20% minimum at least just from him joining the team alone.
It's pretty sick. I'm not much of a football guy. Like I watch Liverpool, and I watched like Champions League and national.
Oh yes. Wait, did you catch the Champions League finale last night? You know?
Like was it like Chelsea versus someone?
Manchester City, you freak.
Chelsea
versus and Chelsea won.
Yeah, because Manchester City didn't play a fucking midfielder, and Chelsea were playing 5 in the back.
I remember you support Man City, don't you, Moni?
Yeah, it's a fucking
Moni, you have the worst opinions.
Why Man City?
It should be illegal to play.
Isn't Man City like a no-name team, and then some oil guy from like Arabia bought the team?
Chelsea was the
like that's terrible. That's fucking terrible.
Chelsea started the trend actually.
Man City.
That's true. That's true.
Man City is the Red Bull Leipzig of English soccer.
Yeah.
It's like they don't do jack. They don't do jack shit, and then they pump up a billion fucking pounds into them, and then they just buy themselves to the top.
Oil money. But yeah, Chelsea is terrible as well. Like I hate Man City more because they're successful, more successful.
Okay, here's my question, fam. Why is it that so many like non-English people love Liverpool Football Club? I get why like Irish Catholics they love Liverpool Football Club for obvious reasons because so many people in Liverpool are Irish. But like, why are so many foreigners in love with Liverpool?
I guess like weren't they pretty successful like before the 90s or something?
Yeah, they were.
Probably,
but also like the thing is like Liverpool Football Club, they're kind of like disliked by a lot of English football fans and like across Britain just for the sole reason that they sort of see themselves as like separate and slightly above all the other teams. Like they don't like to see themselves as English because they've got this history. And obviously like the 1989 like Hillsborough disaster kind of separated them out from a lot of the other teams, and they're considered a little bit more like left wing than a lot of the other teams.
Oh my god, I have to change team.
No, it's because like during the Hillsborough disaster in 1989, when a load of Scouse fans all died, like the right-wing conservative supporting Sun hate newspaper started like accusing Liverpool fans of like urinating on dead people and like stealing
Shit
Thing like
talking.
wallets and stuff, and it wasn't true. So like immediately, like the Sun newspaper was like no one bought it in Liverpool ever again. Like to this day, they don't buy it. They'll have
That's
like
pretty.
posters saying "Don't buy the Sun."
That's
And
pretty
so like
based though, because fuck newspapers, fucking left wing media shit.
yeah,
But
like,
yeah, I guess you're saying they're left wing, maybe.
well, I guess it's more because like so many of them are basically of Irish descent. Like it's where all like the Irish immigrants came during the famine to England. And so like
Maybe.
they've had a little bit of like enmity between Liverpool and like the rest of England. Like some of them will even have like a banner saying like "We are Scouse." Like Scouse means you're from
Yeah.
Liverpool. We're Scouse, not English. Or like they've
Yeah.
never voted Conservative ever, and
I
they've only
don't know if Swedish people are well read enough to know about the Irish history of Liverpool and stuff. But
yeah, of
like,
course not. No, but
Yeah.
it's just
Well-
like they like generally you'd expect like quite a lot of people in England who are like want to get into football but don't want to be part of like the kind of like rough working class reactionary right wing politics that surrounds football.
sounds
They
pretty
support
based though.
Liverpool because Liverpool's got
Oh
that kind
my
of like fuck Thatcher, fuck the conservative like attitude that comes from their history about being like a little bit Irish, being kind of very